Welcome to the introductory video on Numero, the mental maths card game for every student in every class. Numero is proudly distributed by Beechwood Educational Resources. There are 3 golden rules to Numero. During this video, we will focus on rule number 1 and rule number 2. As this is the introductory video for level 1. Rule number 1. Each turn, play one number card from your hand to do a take, a build, or a discard. Rule number 2. When you build, you must have the answer in your hand in a single card. This video will focus on level 1 number cards only. During this level, it is only addition that the students will be using. Getting started. Starting Numero, each player gets 5 cards in their hand. And when there's 2 people playing, there goes 2 cards in the center. Always encourage your students to order their cards from smallest to largest. When you have this done, you are ready to start. During this video, I am going to play with just one hand. I will not have an opponent while I'm explaining the rules. In the next video, I will play a game that there are 2 people playing, so you can see how a game would naturally flow. A take. Let's look at rule number 1. Each turn, play one number card from your hand to do a take, a build, or a discard. We're going to look at the first thing you can do, which is a take. So when we're going to do a take, we can do a matching number from your hand to the center. Do we have any number card in our hand that matches the center of the table? So we have a 5 here and a 5 on the center. That could be the first take that you do with a matching pair. 5 take 5. You would pop that beside you if we were playing a game, and that would become the start of your pile. At the end of the game, whoever has the most cards in their hand wins the game. And pop them back, just for now, this way around. So that's really good for primary school, the junior end of the primary schools, for their number recognition, the visual representation of what a 5 would look like on the cards as well. And for some students, that will be them having success in the game, being able to take a matching pair. As students progress, though, you want to encourage them not just to jump in straight away and do a 5 take 5. We want to teach them a join and take. So a join and take is whenever you use the number cards from the center of the table and you join them together. So if I join these cards together, 5 plus 3, it's always addition. 5 plus 3 is 8. Do you have that number in your hand? Here. So your go is over. Rule number 1, remember one number card from your hand. So your go is over when you use this number card. This time I'm going to use my number card to do a take. 5 plus 3 is 8. I have the answer from my hand to do a take. And I will get 3 cards. Again, you would pop them beside you and you would pick up a new card. A build. Rule number 2. When you build, you must have the answer in your hand in a single card. Let's look at what this means. So in the center of the table, there's a 3. When you look at your hand, you do not have a 3. So you cannot do a take by matching because we do not have a 3. So what we can do is something called a build. when you use a number card from your hand and you add it to the card in the middle, but you must have the answer in your hand in a single card. This is one of the most broken rules in Numero. So let's take a card, one card from our hand, add it to the 3, and we have the answer. 5 plus 3 is 8. When you are playing against an opponent, your go is now over because you used your number card. You must show your opponent that you have the answer. Usually you can't see each other's cards, so you must show them that you have the answer in your hand. Then you would pick up another card. When it was your opponent's go, if they had an 8, they could take it. But let's pretend for the purposes of this video that they do not have an 8. They do something else. So it's your go again. What can you do? You've now made an 8 in the center and you have an 8 in your hand. So this time you can take it. And for some students in your class, that will be brilliant. They will do their take and they'll have their 3 cards to pop beside them. Again, for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to go back here to this go. When this was an 8, yes, a student can take it with their 8 now when it's their go. But what else could they do? They could make another build on top of it. So this is 8. They could then add the 2 to the 8 to make a 10. Again, their go would be over. They would pick up a card and they must show their opponent that they have the answer 10. You cannot just change this because you feel like it. You must show that you have the answer when you do a build. And then again, it's your opponent's turn. Your goes over when you used your 2, your number card from your hand. You would wait until your opponent takes their turn. They may be able to take it if they have a 10, but if they did not have a 10, you could then take it. And that would be 4 card take that you would pop beside you. Let's look at another scenario. If the center of the table had a 3 and a 3, and your hand had a 2, 4, 8, 10, and 12, what could you do? So, do you have a 3? No, so you cannot do a matching take. Could you make a build? Build equals an answer. Is there anything in your hand that you could add to the 3 and you would have the answer? For example, 3 plus 2 is 5, but you don't have a 5, so you cannot do that. 3 plus 4 is 7. You do not have a 7, so you can't do that. This is what you would encourage your students to do, though. You would encourage them to go through all the different combinations, which they will get faster at doing the more they practice using that mathematical skill. I'm going to look at the last teacher tip card, which is join and build. So, can we remember what a join was from earlier in the video? A join is when you put the 2 cards in the center of the table together. And it's always addition. So if we put these 2 cards together, 3 plus 3 is 6. We don't have a 6, but we can join and build in the one turn. So I've joined them together and got a 6. Now, can I add anything to that 6? And I have the answer in a single card. 6 plus 4 is 10. At this stage now, your go is over because you've used your card from your hand. And when you've used your card to make a build, you must show the opponent that you have the answer in one single card, which would be a 10. And again now, if your opponent did not, you pick up another card, sorry, you always have 5 in your hand. If your opponent did not take that, then on your next turn, you would take it with the 10. A discard. Now we will look at the final word in rule number 1, a discard. So at this point, we've been through a take, we've been through a build, and the final thing you can do with a number card is a discard. This is what you do whenever there is no takes and no builds to be done. So you would encourage your students first to ensure that you can't do anything else. So there's 11 in the center. We don't have an 11 in our hand, so we can't do a matching. There's nothing else in the center to join in order to do a take. Encourage your students to see, would they have a build? So again, your students would be in their head thinking, 11 plus 2 is 13. I don't have a 13. I can't do that. 11 plus 4 is 15. I don't have a 15, so I can't do that. This is why it's very important that the students have their cards in order, because in level 1, when there is no wilds, the cards stop at 15, so there's no point the students adding on 8 to 11 because their cards won't go up to 19. So a discard means that the student has to put a number card from their hand into the center of the table, and that becomes into play then for their opponent. So when you're encouraging them to figure out, what card will I discard? Always tell them, look for a number sentence within your own hand. For example, I know that I have a 2 and an 8, which equals 10. So if I'm thinking a few cards ahead, I'm going to discard my 8, and then hopefully if my opponent doesn't take it, I can build on it next time to 10 and then take it in a few goes time. So I will discard my 8. At this stage, my go would be over and it would be my opponent's turn. Put the cards back in order. So if my opponent didn't do anything, if they weren't able to do anything, or maybe they would discard, or maybe they would take the 11, but if they left the 8, then on this time, this go, I could build 8 and 2 to make 10, and I would show my opponent I have the 10, but I can't take it until next time, until my next go. Let's look at this scenario. There is an 11 in the center, and your hand, you have 4, 7, 8, 8, and 10. So you look for a number sentence, you don't always have one, in order to think ahead for your next turn. Do you have a match in your hand? Because I have 2 8s, it would be a good idea at this point to discard one of your 8s. And then if your opponent doesn't take it, on your next go, you would take it. In this scenario, the center has 11, and in your hand you have a 4, 7, 9, 8, and 10, ensuring your cards are in order from lowest to highest. Again, you would check, can you do a take? No, I don't have an 11. Can you do a build? 4 plus 11 is 15. I don't have a 15. I can't do a build. There's no point trying to add on the 7 at this stage because your cards don't go as far as 18. So you look for a match. Do I have any matches in my hand? No. So your other option is to discard the lowest card. Now in Numero, if you have a 2 or a 1, I would never say discard them because later on they'll become very important for strategies. So for this particular hand, I would discard my lowest number, which is not a 2 or a 1, which is a 4. And then it is your opponent's go again.